Socio, and what the heck? Now, I would like to talk to you about something. This is serious, okay? Really serious. Now, when it comes to all these things that everyone has seen on the news and things, about Obama and his new policies and everything that he's pulling on this country, he's tearing it apart. Now, Bush had done a fair good job, but this one that's in there now, his sole purpose is to tear it down. Now, there's a lot of you who understand this, and there's another majority of you out there who don't understand it. And a lot of you are easily fooled by that fellow who sits in the White House, posing as an American president. Well, we could sit there and argue till we're blue in the face until the year 2060, 89, whatever, but see, the thing is no one don't seem to understand that he has an agenda, and that agenda is not for the sake of, on behalf of the country, for the American people. Alright, see, the thing is, everyone, seems to have this delusion that we have freedoms in this country. Well, let's take the freedom of religion. Well, is it? Now, take this just for example, Islam. And there's a few others when it comes between them and Christians. Alright, Christians are not allowed to carry their Bibles to school, they're not allowed to have public prayer that fringes on everyone else's beliefs and all this, that, they won't tolerate that, and then all in the same name of tolerance. Now check it out. Why does no one question this and their tolerance? Well, what happens? Well, let's see. Those who are in Islam, Muslims, they're allowed to bring the Quran, or they're even allowed to have their prayer sessions, so they can interrupt anytime they want, for their prayers, alright? And on and on and on. And if anyone else has a different religious belief other than Christianity, they're allowed to exercise that, but a Christian is not. See, you're talking about your double standards, and they enforce their standards on the Christians. And there's more I could say on it, and you see this. And yet, it's amazing how oblivious people are to it. They see it, some see this, but yet they're like in some kind of limbo land or something. Then there's others who don't, and all they rely on is everything on the news must be true. And if it's not on the news, it must not be happening, or they would have it on the news. They just don't get it. They don't understand. Now, there's a lot I can say on this that we can all say on it, but I want to hurry up and get to what I was wanting to get at, alright? This country's freedoms has been shot down. You only have very little left, and that's soon to disappear. Alright, now let's take the gun issue. And there's a lot of other issues out there. Well, what I'm fixing to read to you, with you considering the facts, this issue about the gun control, and not to mention all these other little control things that Obama and his socialist, communist, Islamic control that he's throwing on this country. I mean, hey. I mean, his whole purpose is to destroy this country. Now, I know you won't believe me, but if you will bother to backtrack some years back, say before 2009, on Al Jazeera TV News, if they haven't eliminated it already, Obama, in perfect Arabic, had promised to destroy this nation. To bring it into complete Islamic control. And at the same time, he said he would also help his Muslim brothers to destroy Israel. And if you sit there and watch everything he does, and really listen to him, it don't even make sense. But a lot of you say, well, because he's black, Well, let me remind you, he is not black. He is mixed. He has, like a lot of us, we're mixed. But his color has nothing to do with him being behind that White House. It don't matter. If he was purple, it would not make no difference. If who's up there in that White House, if they're doing what they're supposed to do as an American leader, hey, there's no problem there. But the problem is, if you speak out against what he's doing, everyone will start, racist. That's the racist card they love to pull. And they're blind to what he's doing because of his skin color or whatever it is you want to call it. I don't see a man of color up there. I see a man who's there with the sole purpose of destroying this country, and so far he's been doing pretty good. And he has kept his promise that he made before 2009 to his Arab buddies. He's even admitted to being a Muslim. And I'm not talking about the common things that he has slipped up on our regular newscasting thingy-majiggers and all this, I'm talking about on Muslim TV, where he was over there and he had talked to these people, and he's doing everything that he promised. He does keep his promises, the promises that he made to his Muslim brothers, and also to his communist socialist buddies. He is, a lot of people don't get what he really is. He has a card, he's a socialist member, so did some of his cronies up there in the White House. A lot of you don't see it. You're talking about democracy. Democracy is not what you think. But that's neither here nor there. Let's not get in there. What I wanted to read to you. Now, I have brought this up before, but I want to bring it again, and I encourage you to pass this on to others, okay? Now, keep in view, this was something that came out originally in 1919. All right, this is it came out from it's some excerpts from the Communist Rules for Revolution. And the information originally was obtained by the armed forces in Dusseldorf, Germany, and that was in May 1919. Now what I'm fixing to read to you looks just like today, man, like in today's headlines of everything that's going on, especially with what has happened for the past 10 years, 15 years. But I mean, all the homosexual agendas, the the abortions agenda, and on and on, and all these other agendas and things, you name it, whatever, you know, on and on. My whole point is this country is not America the Free. It's not a republic anymore. Everyone wants to keep focused on democracy. Democracy ain't what you think it is. But, like I said, that's neither here nor there. That's another subject altogether, another conversation, another whatever. But what I want to read is something to get you to think, to see what is taking place. Now, this is exactly what Obama and his cronies up there in the White House, and there's a lot of them out there that's out here in this country that supports him. And well, okay, let me read this to you. All right. Corrupt. This is A. Corrupt the young, get them away from religion, get them interested in sex, make them superficial, destroy their ruggedness. Think about it. Let's go to B. Get control of all means of publicity, and thereby, and we got 7 things here. 1, get the people's mind off their government by focusing their attention on athletics, sexy books and plays, and other trivialities. 2, divide the people into hostile groups by constantly harping on controversial matters of no importance. 3, destroy the people's faith in their natural leaders by holding the ladder up. That is, divide the people into hostile groups by constantly harping on controversial matters of no importance. You know, you can pause there and think about it, or rewind, go back a little bit, but think about that, and then remember what you're seeing today. I mean, you can even start going further back in our country, some years back, and you could start seeing, like, even back during the 60s, and, you know, late 50s and 60s. I mean, you can see, but the guy that we got in there now is really hitting it really good, you know. But anyway, it says destroy the people's faith in their natural leaders by holding the ladder up, which that is contempt, ridicule, and criticism. Contempt, ridicule, and criticism. The word that they originally used I could never pronounce, but it means criticisms. Obloquy or obloquy or something like that. But anyway, it means criticism. And 4, let's go to 4. It says, always preach true democracy, but seize power as fast and as ruthlessly as possible. Number 5, be encouraging. By, can't even read my own writing. I'd copied, you know, by hand, you know, from what was in that article. That, anyway, so by encouraging government extravagance, is that hitting home? Think about it. By encouraging government extravagance, destroy its credit, produce fear of inflation with rising prices and general discontent. Number 6, promote unnecessary strikes in vital industries encourage civil disorders, foster a lenient and soft attitude on the part of government toward such disorders. Is it sinking in? 7. By specious arguments, cause the breakdown of the old moral virtues, honesty, sobriety, continuance, faith in the pledge word, ruggedness. Okay, now let's go to C. Cause the registration of all firearms on some pretext with the view of confiscation of them and leaving the population helpless. Now, this is originally from 1919. Now think about that. Now, what do you see going on? I mean, does that not read like the headlines of today of what's going on? And yet there's so many of the people out here in America that they're so blinded to it. They don't see it. And they don't care. All they think of themselves, they think it's going to be hunky-dory for them, but they don't realize it ain't. And that's whether you're a Christian or not. But to be a Christian in these days, especially with what Obama and his cohorts has planned. Now, I know there's a lot who think you're going to be raptured out and you're not going to go through no tribulation and troubles. And, you know, God says, you know, in His Word, through the apostles, that, you know, we won't be suffering wrath, right? You know? That's wrath. Didn't say nothing about persecution. And I'm trying to point this out to you. We can go on more on that. I'm trying to get you to understand with what's coming, because when the persecution comes, you're going to start saying, why are we not raptured out? How come we're not caught away? And then some of you are going to think, well, it must have came and gone, and you're left behind. Or you're going to start hating people, thinking you're lied to, and what have you. But my point is, persecution's coming. And we're not talking about somebody just calling you a few filthy names and you know, just you know, treating you like if you're dirt. It's going to be a lot worse than that. That's nothing. That's mild. But the thing is, here we got this, in this country, right now, a breakdown. This is no longer the America that you knew 30 years ago or 40 years ago. Not anything resembling it at all. You got chaos, everything. I mean, you know, a lot of people don't see it because they're too much wrapped in their own little world. It's all about me, about my career and what I can make and all this and that, you know. Hey, I don't allow no one to get my way. It's me against the world because I'm going to make it. I'm an American and it's my right to be great and all this. You don't see what's going on because you're so focused on the one thing, you don't see what's going on. So, the thing is, we have to wake up. That's the facts. We got to wake up, smell the roses, and see what's going on. And maybe you want to ignore what I just read to you. That's your prerogative. But remember one thing. You know, you can close your eyes and squeeze it tight and pretend that it's not there. That you have your own little world. And it's all okay, but it's not. Nobody likes bad things to happen, but they're there. But you have to see what's going on around you, what's really going on. And It's not over yet. It's not going to be over until Christ comes. And let me just say, you know, we have to think of where we stand with our walk with God in our life. Do we really love Him? Because you're going to be tested. We're all, me, you, we're all going to be tested. So where are you going to stand? Think about all this. This is serious. Let's see what's going on in America today. That guy that's posing as an American president, the man is not even an American, period. He's lived in his country and stuff, you know, and all this, but he is not an American. He wasn't even born here. And he tells everyone in other countries he's a Muslim. But here he tells everybody you get a different story. He'll tell one he's a Christian, talks about his faith, and then the other talks about his Muslim identity. The man cannot be trusted, and he's also a socialist. If you ever looked anything about on his background, you'd find out that this is true. He is not an American. He's a traitor. The man should be brought up on treason. But I'm just one man, and my voice don't matter when it comes to that. You know, God has allowed him to be in there for one reason, and that alone. That His will, God's will, not Obama's will, and it was that God's will be done. And this country is going to be punished. I don't care what Preacher Joe or John says, or Preacher Sally says. This country is going to fall. Well, it's already fallen. I mean, we're talking total collapse, and you know, all this great prosperity a lot of them's preaching will not happen. If you think it is, well, you know, you got that little bubble world going on. But I just shared something to you about what's going on in this country, about the man who sits in the White House up there, the traitor. The traitor, the liar, the man who cannot be trusted. But hey, again, I'm just one little guy, old guy at that, who just giving his opinion, and also telling about facts and some truth, and reading to you reading to you what's going on. Something that a lot of people are not considering. This is not America the free, and if you keep insisting on it, you won't. It's like you're stuck back, what, in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, somewhere around in there. You're kind of like blinded. You know, I mean, it's the facts. If you can't see it, then you're blind. But I'm not up here, you know, talking to you, you know, through this video to hound you, to criticize you and all this. No, it's to get you to think, to see. You check it out for yourself. All right? Think about all this. Where are me and you heading spiritually? We need to wake up, because we're going to need God more and more in our life in these last days. And when I say last days, I should rephrase that as the last of the last days. We're in it. And if someone says, well, we've heard this stuff before, you know, oh yeah, it's always been. No. Don't take a blind man to really see this. It's in the Bible, and what you see today, it's there, plainly. It wasn't there 50 years ago, wasn't there 100 years ago, you know, of things that had to be fulfilled by, you know, Bible prophecy, you know, and on and on and on. But you know what I'm saying. A lot of you do. Not everyone, but a lot of you know what I'm talking about and understand what I'm talking about. But I just wanted to do this video to get you to think and see the danger, the warning signs. A lot of you see this. But then again, there's a lot of you out there who don't. And if you know people who have been smoke screened, then I encourage you to pass this video on. Like I said, I'm just one little guy, just one person. I don't have a great voice out there and everything to convince people to get a following. I don't want no following. Don't care for it. I just want people to see what's going on, to be warned. Okay, so God bless you, and shalom, and ha-ho.